think they're going to start speaking.
So as you can see, you're seeing signs that say fully fund public education. How many illegals you let into their houses? Probably a lot, I would assume. Probably a lot is what I would assume. So this is the Oregon Working Families Party. This is a coalition of unions and nurses and workers and teachers. This is in front of the Capitol building in Salem, Oregon, where again they're trying to get legislation passed of the immigrant justice package to not allow ICE agents inside of hospitals. We're still having classroom size. You're welcome, teachers. Yeah, this is definitely probably going to be a big reasoning why parents pull their children from these schools. Because in my opinion, I wouldn't want my children going to any schools that are going to walk out on their children over some legislative justice reform for a political theater. So we'll see what the speakers have to say. We'll see what a crowd of about, I'd say 100 people up front, maybe a couple hundred people in the back. Again, it's coalition of the Working Families of Oregon. The Oregon Working Families Party. The Oregon Working Families Party. 2Fan for Life, thank you for sharing this on X. I appreciate you. And then we just got some speakers that are going to go up and speak after days of legislation. We're going to see that this is a God-given right to protest. American-given right to protest. This is the freedoms to protest. As of right now, this is all peaceful protesting. This is a little bit different from what you'll see down in Eugene compared to like direct action and stuff. These are teachers, and so this is the Oregon Workers Family Party. And see, this is what they do, guys. They'll send people to stand right in front of me. Yep. They just don't like people standing. See, they follow you. I'm not even affiliated with anybody here, and they just think I'll just stand in the corner over here. I'll come back over here just to make it a little bit better. We'll go this way. And we'll just stand in the crowd. Just because we want to get a better view. I support peaceful protest from all sides. I agree. I think peaceful protest is awesome. So let's stand up here and see what they have to say. They don't hand me a sign. Beautiful Salem Capitol. Sun shining right over top. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful day in the Pacific Northwest. It's an amazing that we get an opportunity to have this beautiful sunshine coming down on us today. No rain. I love the blues music that's playing right now. It's a good vibe. And after legislation, they're here to get the immigrant justice package passed. SB 1570. SIU 503 Union is the one that organized this. Yes. SCIU 503 Union. So protect the people, fight for the future. See, well organized. Yep. I copy. In a river of trouble, about to drown. It's just restricting. It's restricting freedom of speech. They're well organized to try and block me. It's okay though. It's all right. We'll still get our message out there, which is just literally to provide what's happening down here.
Don't have to worry, because I'm here.
Yep, David Medina is here today.
Because I'm here.
Get a better view of, excuse me, I wanted to get a better view, excuse me guys, he's right behind you, get a better view here, there we go, that's a lot better, Salem Capitol, beautiful day, beautiful day. They've got construction in the front of the building. I think it's been happening for a little while. I haven't come down to Salem in a couple of weeks. The last time I came down here, I didn't come in front of the... Go ahead. No, you're good. Don't want to interrupt you. That's all right. It's getting blocked by this anyways. Yeah. I guess freedom of press just doesn't exist in Salem, guys. I can't even walk, and freedom of press does not exist in Salem, unfortunately.
Reports of at least 7 patients who were hit by that vehicle and potentially a bicycle that was also involved upon the initial impact. So multiple victims, and we are working to clarify and to confirm with LA City Fire any fatalities associated.
Speaking of LA City Fire, we have Lindsay Lancy on the phone right now with us to talk to us. Lindsay, I just want to make sure that is it Lancy, your name?
Lance.
Lance. So Miss Lance, can you just tell us exactly what you're hearing about what happened here at 99 Ranch Market?
Yes, Mark and Colleen, thank you. We are trying to get our arms around this incident right now. As we can see on your feed, we have several apparatus and firefighters there. Preliminary reports, like you said, we had at least 7 patients immediately identified inside that structure. Some of them were trapped underneath this vehicle. Unfortunately, we do not have the circumstances under which this vehicle entered the bakery portion of the 99 Ranch Market. Oftentimes, of course, these are medical incidences for the drivers that turn into these larger incidents, but we do not have preliminary information about any circumstances. I will update you on the patients we have. Again, all preliminary, but we have at least 3 patients identified in at least serious condition. Of course, those could progress to critical or even grave. We do have at least 2 patients identified with minor injuries, and sadly, we are reporting at least 2 patients declared deceased on scene.
Oh, that is heartbreaking to hear. Lindsay, I know this is all just unfolding, but can you tell us, the initial call, was there a bicycle involved? Can you tell us a little bit with this initial call out to the first responders?
Sure. We identified a bicyclist. One of our in-camp apparatus actually identified an injured bicyclist on the way to the incident. As far as we know at this point, that bicyclist ended up being okay, but that certainly did alert us to the fact that there may be more patients outside of this immediate scene that may have been struck and injured prior to the vehicle colliding with the structure.
So that would lead you to believe that the cyclist was hit in one certain location, the vehicle continued on before hitting the building.
That's what it sounds like could be possible. Again, this is all speculation at this point. It's a dynamic scene, and like I said, we are just trying to get our hands around this.
Absolutely, and we so appreciate your time and your information. Let me ask you this clarifying question regarding, again, so heartbreaking to hear and to confirm the 2 dead from this incident. We do have eyes from Air 7 on what appears to be one of those bodies on the street there, just off of Westwood Boulevard. Additionally, for the second victim who was killed, is there any confirmation? Was that the driver of the car, potentially a medical issue, or anyone else inside the building, a body that we can't see? Where is that second victim, the second person who passed?
We don't have confirmation of that, Mark. We do not know at this point if any of these patients are the driver. So we are just trying to sort all that out right now and get tallies really at this point.
Yeah, it's got to be, obviously it's a very fluid situation, but again, this is one of those things where just to see the massive response from fire crews, and again, we were talking about it earlier, Lindsay, when you see your triage mats go out, that's one of those moments when you know that they really do believe that there are so many victims that they need to identify them in certain categories of their severity of their injuries.
Yeah, absolutely. For these, what we call multiple casualty incidents, which is a very scary term for people to hear, but it just means injured people. It is important for us to identify those victims who are viable and who we can start treatment on, and those, as we see, who are beyond our medical help and capabilities upon our arrival at the scene.
This is something that these firefighters go into deep training for. You hope that these incidents do not occur, but they are ready, and we see that from the response and everything you just detailed about laying everything out, being ready just in case. From Air 7, we're seeing some of the work still around the structure. Can you explain what may be happening regarding the building and the immediate scene with the car still inside?
Sure. One of our main concerns anytime we have any kind of vehicle into a structure is stability of the structure so we don't have any more injuries, collapse, etc. What this looks like right now is that it was pretty much confined to the windows of that structure, likely not supporting beams, but we do have the Los Angeles Department of Building and Safety en route and ready to assess that building. We do have USAR teams and heavy rescue teams on scene in case any further stabilization needs to happen either inside or around that building to prevent any further problems.
And Lindsay, now what is next in this situation? Because we obviously see the LAPD also on hand, but they are usually come to kind of help within a situation of this. It's not as though there's any crime that they're thinking happened, but can you tell us what's next? Because we see just a huge amount of FD and LAPD on the scene?
Sure. This will be a multi-pronged response, as it always is when we have these large incidents. Our partners at LAPD do so much for us. They help us control traffic on these streets at the very least, but they will, of course, be involved in investigation and working with the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner as this progresses to help identify victims. And of course, they are working on investigation all the time when there's a traffic issue. The fire department does not investigate, so they're collecting data right now to help us figure out what exactly happened.
And one piece of new information that we're getting, just something here to add in, according to LAPD, telling ABC's Alex Stone, who's also working on this situation, that the driver involved in the incident did at least remain on scene. This is not a hit and run situation, so everyone accounted for that was involved in the incident, so we'll set that issue aside. Lindsay Lance here on the phone with us with LAFD. We do mention the two people who passed away from this incident. Any early indication on gender, age of these people? Again, this hit the bakery area, perhaps an area where a wide range of people are eating, enjoying their lunch. Do we know anything about who these people are, just male, female, age range? Has that been given to you?
No, Mark, unfortunately not. And I will bow out here soon for so I can get some updates for us. I know when we see scenes like this on TV, families get worried, and so we do like to give as much information as we can to either put minds at ease or to, get folks checking on their loved ones. So I do appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, and I will hopefully have more information for you regarding those deaths and injuries as this progresses.
Okay, Lindsay Lance, LAFD, we so appreciate the time that you gave us, and thank you. We'll stand by for any updates that you are able to give us later in the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, you just heard it, Mark. So just incredibly sad news, because we're learning about all the patients and what the violence of this crash is. They're still trying to figure out exactly what caused it. But, the takeaway is that we now know there were 2 fatalities. So 2 people died in this accident that happened. We're going on, I guess, about 40 minutes or so. It happened just after noon, and we know that there were 3 patients. They are at least in serious conditions, but she also said that that could change their condition. We know that there were 2 with minor injuries, and then again, 2 people who did lose their lives. But it's interesting because we do not know exactly what caused this crash. When the initial call came out, the firefighters, they were responding. They saw a bicyclist who was injured on their way. So now, obviously, there's probably other scenes of maybe cars that were hit, people that were injured, at least a lot of witnesses. So this is a large area that they're going to now have to investigate, not just this grocery store that the car ended up flying into.
You bring up a good point, the potential that this was kind of a trail or a path of destruction. Air 7 giving us these really important images in the view from high above. I'm wondering if Air 7 has any eyes on if there was any other destruction to the left here, further down the street, assuming that the vehicle did come from the north to the left of the camera. If there's any other cars that seem to be damaged, you see all those LAFD vehicles, and maybe up to the next intersection, they have it blocked off there. And more fire engines as well. You see Station 61, they're responding all the way up the block. Okay, so clearly probably hard to tell, but clearly it would seem that the vehicle came from that direction, heading southbound on Westwood Boulevard before making impact with that market.
Yeah, and I'm trying to, really laser focus in there to see if we see anybody else who might be being treated who's not actually at this scene. But again, the one, good thing is that the driver did stay on the scene. This does sound like, what Lindsay Lance was saying, that it does sound like maybe that driver did suffer a medical emergency, because for it to just sort of look like it careened right into the bakery section of the 99 Ranch Market right there.
Certainly always a possibility, and as she referenced, these type of crashes, they do occur. This is something that happens, weekly, if not daily, across Southern California. You just hope that those victims, or there are not victims, that people are not injured, and in this case, of course, people who have passed away, which is just terrible to hear. But oftentimes we do hear that it's someone elderly who
The gas and the brake
absolutely
pedal.
And this is at an intersection as well, so you don't know if any other vehicles were involved. That has not been reported, simply that there was a bicyclist who was also struck in this incident.
And we're not exactly sure, we're seeing the two vantage points, Mark, here. We're not exactly sure what direction this vehicle was coming from. It happened obviously on Westwood Boulevard, but we don't know if it came from this side street, because you can see it's the intersection here. So
that's true.
We don't exactly know where that injured bicyclist was to alert authorities that they need to be looking somewhere else. As we see Air 7 panning out and looking around, we don't see any emergency crews on some of these adjacent streets right there, but you just see a huge presence right there. And again, talking about the LAPD, they're having to be out there to monitor traffic, because this is really impacting. This is a busy area,
Absolutely.
especially at this time.
Yeah. Pointing out to our viewers, as you're watching our breaking coverage here, Air 7 on the left, there is ground video on the right from earlier following the incident. You can see the image of officers and firefighters right on the outside of where this vehicle went into the 99 Ranch Market. So this angle pretty close to that impact area, but that is ground video on the right, and Air 7, of course, on the left, as this remains just a massive response scene and developing investigation to figure out who the driver is, what caused that person to lose control, go into the building, and then any updates that we may get regarding those victims. We have 2 people who were killed, 3, as Colleen mentioned, that were in serious condition. Lindsay Lance of the LAFD telling us that those serious injuries could potentially be upgraded to grave. We saw one person who was taken away on a stretcher maybe 10 minutes ago. They appeared to be, we did not zoom in, but they appeared to be in bad condition.
Badly injured. And the other thing is that many times when we know this is, again, a fluid investigation that's happening right now. You can see all the different law enforcement and first responders coming out there, and you know that there's search and rescue teams that are also out there, the urban search and rescue team that's also been called. But as of right now, no signs are pointing that this was a criminal act. You didn't see anybody taken into custody. Obviously, an investigation is fluid, but as of right now, they have not said that this is a criminal act that was committed. Right now, all signs point to that it might have been a medical emergency or something, but not necessarily out of a malicious intent. And you can see, cars are trying to get out of the parking garage right there too. This is very disruptive for a lot of people who thought that they were just going to go take a quick trip to the store for their lunch break and possibly, injured or witnesses here. But we don't see all the witnesses that we saw earlier, Mark. Remember, right moments ago when we first came onto the scene, we saw a lot of witnesses standing right next to the building, and we don't really see them. Maybe they brought them somewhere else.
I'm sure that they pushed them back from the scene because they were, as you mentioned, they were basically right upon the building on that sidewalk. They have since been cleared out of the area, which is something that law enforcement may do as they kind of get a handle on this situation. They kind of start extending the perimeter of their investigation. They push people out, and sometimes that includes the media as well. On that note, given the severity of this tragic incident, we of course are going to be following this throughout the day. We do have reporters who are heading to the scene to bring us the very latest throughout the afternoon on the ground to speak with law enforcement, to speak with firefighters, and to speak with the potential witnesses as well. So again, this is happening in Westwood, a vehicle that has crashed into the 99 Ranch Market. 2 dead, 5 others injured. Crews are now assessing the building. We will have the very latest this afternoon on Eyewitness News at 3 p.m. and online, abc7.com. Thanks for watching.
Oh, okay. All right, we are back with our breaking news. We've been covering for almost at least 45 minutes now, where there has been a deadly crash that happened in Westwood. We see it. If you zoom in, Air 7's live over the scene. There was a car that crashed into the bakery part of the 99 Ranch Market right there. We know 2 people lost their lives. 2 people are dead. 5 others were injured. We know that 3 of them were in serious condition, but their condition can change. Sadly, we see right there's a white blanket over somebody who did lose their life. We know another person. We did not see that body taken out. Mark, we were talking about the triage. When we initially came onto this, we saw quite a few people on the green triage mat, and then we didn't see anybody on the yellow, and then we saw a few people on the red, which meant they were in the most serious condition. Yeah, so just a range of injuries, including those that lost their life in this incident. So we are continuing our coverage now on our streaming channel. We were joining our viewers on air on ABC7 as well for the past 45 minutes or so, and now continuing on our streaming. So we're going to stay on this to gather any developments, the very latest on this developing investigation, the massive response. It does seem, again, that all of the most serious patients have been removed from the building, removed from those color-coded mats. There appears to be a couple of individuals still in the green area. I saw a woman a moment ago right there to the left. She seems to be calm, seems to be okay, but she may be suffering from some of those, more minor injuries. Yeah, she's been sitting there the whole time as we've been covering this. She seems to be the last person that they are taking in for evaluation. I thought they were, they're walking her away, and she is able to walk. That's very good to slowly, see. And they are assisting her. So you think of all of the witnesses too, who were right there when this happened, to the entrance of the building, right at the intersection, but potentially at the crosswalk, and then the folks who were inside who saw this happen, maybe just feet or inches away from that impact. Again, for those people who maybe just be tuning in here to our streaming coverage, this is at 1350 Westwood Boulevard in Westwood, the corner of Rochester Avenue. As we have been mentioning, this is a very, very busy area. All of Westwood is, but this is the main drag where there are those shops, the restaurants. And again, this happened during the lunch hour, the call coming in just around 12:12 this afternoon, as so many people were likely on their lunch break, leaving work, leaving the university, and coming down here to do their lunchtime business. Right, and we're going to learn more about the victims involved in this, and we're going to learn more about the circumstances that led to this crash. Again, with any big story, any developing story or breaking news story, it's always sort of like a drip. You get a little drip of new information as investigators can give them to the media, or we have reporters obviously on the scene there as well. But we're trying to figure out exactly what happened, not leading to any kind of criminal thoughts or anything like that, all leading sort of to a medical situation that may have occurred for the driver of the car, especially when, as we spoke with the LA Fire Department, Lindsay Lance said that when responding firefighters were on their way, they came across an injured bicyclist that was hit possibly by the same driver. So they're obviously monitoring the path this driver took that wound up inside this market, but there could be cars that were hit. There could be other people who witnessed something happening. I hope that, certainly nobody else was injured. But again, you can see a lot of people are interested in looky-loos watching this from Air 7. Yeah, so many people right in that vicinity. There are also those apartment buildings and complexes, and so a lot of people are going to be impacted by the closures and the investigation that is now ramping up. We do have live coverage on the ground now joining us. Eyewitness News reporter, and who is this? Is this Leo Stallworth? Leo, what can you see? I know you just arrived, a really developing investigation. Walk us through what you're seeing from your vantage point.
Well, I'm seeing a lot of folks out here standing, obviously, with their cell phones out, just in shock, watching this developing tragedy here. As you mentioned, 2 dead, 3 injured, possibly gravely injured. A car into the market just across the street from where we are right now. We're at Rochester and Westwood. A huge police presence. Of course, EMS crews are here, firefighters are here. This is a massive scene, and more people on the side of the crime tape that we're on are showing up just mortified at what they're seeing, in disbelief that this unfolded, wondering why it unfolded, what's going on here, how did the person, whoever was driving the vehicle that smacked into the ranch market here, apparently it's the ranch market, we can't see on the other side, so we cannot see the vehicle into the market from where we are right now, because our view is being obstructed by the large apparatus of firefighting vehicles that are here right now, and of course the EMS crews and just people standing all around us. This is really shocking for a lot of people to see this as it is continuing to unfold. And of course there's a triage area set up where EMS crews are helping some of the victims as much as they can, and we're wondering how many of these people are going to be taken out of here and when that will happen. We know Air 7 is above viewing this as well. So this is just a really horrible scene right now. Did you folks see what happened here? Hey, sir, did you witness what happened here?
No, I did not.
Did you hear?
I did not.
You didn't hear anything? Okay, all right. Anyway, I'm approaching some folks who are here to determine whether or not they witnessed what happened. I'm told that a PIO with the police department is going to be here shortly, and hopefully we'll get more information about what's unfolding here. This is horrible. Anyway, man, this is bad.
It really
I'm going to send it back to you for now, brother.
It is heartbreaking, Leo. And you know, we're even more concerning and tragic to this situation. We've just learned another person has been lost their life to this tragedy. So now we know there are 3 people who died. We know 7 others are injured. As Leo said, there's a lot of activity there. We're looking forward to getting an update by the public information officer. But again, this is such a fluid situation. As we heard from the LAFD, Lindsay Lance said 3 people were in serious condition, but possibly it could move up to grave. One of those 3 people has now died from their injuries. We do not know the other conditions of the other 2 patients that she said were in at least serious, but we know that this was a very violent car crash right into the bakery department, and people just didn't see it coming, and they lost their lives.
Yeah, it must have been very crowded right there at the entrance to the bakery area of the grocery store. And those expanded numbers just given to us really is a worst case scenario. How often do we report on these vehicles that go into businesses, into stores, and you may have some injuries, but to have 3 dead in this incident, incredibly rare and heartbreaking for the extent, the impact of this.
Right, and I'm looking in closer from our live images from Air 7. I'm trying to see, do I see any skid marks? Do I see like the driver really tried to brake before they impacted that building? And I just don't see him. There's nothing so glaring that shows that if they tried to slow down, of course you have investigators on the scene. Of course they're going to look and see how fast that car was traveling when it did crash into that building. But again, it's just getting worse. This is that moment when you keep saying you get a drip of information. It's not the information you really just did not want to hear. One other person died during Leo's report is when we got that. And I know Leo just responded out on the scene, but you know, you always see it when you are a reporter and you go out on the scene, when you're sitting here and you see those triage mats laid out, it brings a lot of us back to a lot of stories that just always have some heartbreaking ramifications.
And to be honest, we don't see those often.
Rarely.
They
so
plan,
rare.
they train for the triage, but we just don't see it too often. Eyewitness News reporter Leo Starworth again. He was with us a moment ago. He's still on the ground speaking to a potential witness. Leo, what do you have?
I was going to go to the Thai restaurant here.
Are you? I'm here with Tyler, and Tyler did not see what happened, but he heard everything that was involved in this tragedy. Man, what did it sound like?
Yeah, I was just walking down the street to the Thai restaurant here. I heard a loud boom coming from down over the street over here. And I walked down here, I see a car right inside the building, and
inside of the ranch market.
Inside the ranch market, the bakery aisle right here. I usually go here all the time,
yeah.
So.
Thank God you weren't there at that time.
It's quite sad, honestly.
And then you came out to see all the activity, and now that you know, 3 people are dead, dude. 3 people have lost their lives, 2 still injured. We do not know the severity of the injuries, but it could possibly slip into being grave. It's just a horrible situation. You heard it, you saw it. What are your thoughts now?
This is horrible because this is my childhood around here. I've been born and raised in West LA, so seeing something like this really is sad, and so I hope everyone is well.
You don't know anyone involved in this, do you?
Hopefully I do not. I mean, I know a lot of friends who love to come out here all the time, so hopefully
So you got to check on them to make sure.
Yeah, I got to check my West LA. People who live in Westwood, all my friends are out here. They live literally right down the block over here, so I'm going to check on them. I'm like shaking right now. So
Sorry, man. We appreciate your time, and let's hope that no one you knows is involved in this tragedy, okay?
I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you
so
for
much.
taking a second,
Thank
brother.
you.
We appreciate that. In a few minutes, I will be speaking to someone who says that they witnessed what happened here. They were here shortly before the car rammed into the ranch market. They saw everything. They saw that vehicle smacking into people, and hopefully we're going to get them over here in just a few minutes and talk to them about what unfolded. And I'm sure they're shaking just like this gentleman was shaking while he was trying to do this interview with us, and I could see him visibly shaking. This is just heartbreaking. There's so much going on in our country. There's so much going on in our state, and then for something this horrific on a scale this large to happen, 3 people gone just like that, 2 in the hospital, critically injured, obviously. This is just a horrible situation. I'll send it back to you right now, and I'm going to go try to find this person who witnessed it and get them over here, okay?
All right. Well, Leo, thank you so much for that interview with Tyler. Again, you could see him. He was really shaken and in shock by what he heard, and he was just walking. He was going to get lunch, and he's from this area, so you feel him visibly heartbroken, going, I hope I don't know anybody who was hurt. But again, people do live in this area. It looks like it's more of a business area, but people live here. Like we were saying earlier, Mark, they're going to lunch, and this happened. He didn't see it, but he heard it, and he felt like it was a big boom.
Yeah, I think with so many people, the natural response for someone like Tyler is that hypothetical, the what if, the fact that he knows the store, he knows the area, and it's tough when you start thinking about that. And you see right there to the left, the bottom left of your screen, unfortunately, one of the tents that has been put up for one of the victims who passed away from the impact. So one body, at least, on scene. It's possible that the others who passed away, the 2 others, were taken from the scene by ambulance, perhaps passed away at a hospital. That is unclear, or that someone is still inside the supermarket as well.
Right, and we know that it happened in the bakery department. But again, we do have reporters on the scene. We're certainly trying to get as much information as possible. Leo said that the public information officer is going to address the media to discuss what happened, the circumstances leading to this crash. But again, you can see this whole area cornered off. You're not going to be able to go to this area. If you need to get around this area, you're going to have to find an alternate route. But again, we're trying to find out exactly what caused this driver to lose control, to crash into the bakery department. And you did see just a moment ago, looked like there was building safety people going in with their hard hats right now, trying to assess the situation and how safe this structure is.
Yeah, I was just speaking to a coworker here who gathers information for us. Unclear exactly what the circumstances are at the moment, but we do know that some people were trapped for sure. It's unclear if some of those victims who passed are potentially still under the vehicle. That's something that we're looking into, but that's a possibility. So some of the bodies may still be inside the store and under that vehicle, which we do know now is a Mercedes sedan.
Yeah, obviously probably pretty heavy, but the impact was, it's just remarkable because I don't know if the door's open. You don't see a bunch of smashed glass anywhere. It must have smashed inside. Again, we're trying to effort as much information. We are going to get the latest information from LA firefighters, LAPD on exactly what happened, what the injuries are, and how they're going to move forward with this investigation.
Colleen Sullivan and Mark Coterovas here on the desk. Thank you for joining us for this breaking coverage on our ABC7 streaming channels. We will have the very latest online, abc7.com, and coming up on Eyewitness News at 3 p.m.
This has been breaking news on Eyewitness News. Started first to breaking news happening around you. Download the ABC7 Eyewitness News app. This has been breaking news.
They even circulated a survey recently about your experience on Westwood Boulevard. What are they going to do with that?
Yeah. What did you say? You heard?
I heard. It gave me the chills. This loud.
Over to one of these ambulances right here and being held back by the police department, you know, right or wrong, it was a very emotional moment. It was a man with a woman, but then a younger female showed up, and you could definitely see that they were here because they had probably gotten a call and suspected that their loved one may have been in one of these ambulances. Just because a person was taken to the ambulance doesn't mean that they didn't pass away. Again, we're working to get all those numbers sorted out. We do have a confirmation that 2 people have passed away. We know that one of them is under a sheet right around the corner there. Really don't want to show it to you just to get for the confirmation, but believe me, it is there. The possibility that another person passed away in one of those ambulances and the ambulance still here, that's a good possibility as well. Right now, though, the fire department, they're still here. You have investigators inside the building, and of course the LAPD traffic division of the West LA side, they've got a difficult task of figuring out exactly what happened here and of course notifying other loved ones of what has happened. Again, though, we don't know for a fact, Araxia, that is the driver. These are kind of just assumptions, but we've seen these types of crashes in the past, and you know, she was definitely involved. And the way that these officers are around her and talking to her and her range of emotions and her hand motions, I would believe that she was directly involved in what happened this afternoon. Hopefully she's going to be okay. This is traumatic for survivors as well as victims. Definitely, and again, the scene has de-escalated a little bit, but clearly still a lot of firefighters here on scene. Clearly they got here as quickly as possible, and in the original calls were they needed extra help, clearly. USAR, that's their urban search and rescue truck, was here as well for a few moments and made its way out of here. It was kind of impressive to see the quick response and how quickly our trained professionals from LA City Fire Department set up that triage situation for the injured. The paramedics were out here as well. And then, of course, all the heavy equipment that they brought and laid out just ready to grab. if they needed to, when they were inside that store, to free people that were trapped and to get to these victims and help them if they could be helped. Again, you have to think to yourself, this is still, like now it's in the 1 o'clock hour. This happened in the noon hour, lunchtime. This is clearly a bakery and a restaurant, a bakery and a grocery store. 99 Ranch Market, very popular. Maybe was very full when that vehicle smashed through those windows. Again, I don't think there was any intention. I think this was more of an accident scene, and of course, very tragic. We know 2 people losing their lives, possibly 3. And again, the fire department still here on scene. We got that information on the scanner when the original calls came out, and Roxia, you are very correct on that. One of the first things that we did was we did take a look and see if there was a bicycle. That was something we were looking for. We also were checking. We were keeping an eye on the triage areas with the red and green and yellow. At the time we got here as quick as possible. The green was the only one that still had some folks on that green tarp. I'm getting new information. I'm trying to double check it right now, but the assignment desk sending new information. I believe that they're saying 3 confirmed, 3 have passed, and 10 patients total. So this is quite a tragic scene this afternoon. Again, happening here on Westwood Boulevard, right at the intersection of Rochester. A vehicle crashing into the 99 Ranch Market and Bakery. There were people trapped, sadly people losing their lives as well as that vehicle smashes through those front glass. And of course, LA City Fire Department doing what they can, the paramedics, to save the injured and get them to the hospitals quickly. LAFD, copy. Go ahead. Definitely. Family members. Definitely family members coming to console. And again, this is the thing. If that is the driver, clearly, there was no evil intention. This is a tragic situation and something that this woman and the family will have to carry with them. And again, it is one of those ones where you think about victims, and then you think about the people that were involved in it that were also types of victims in this situation. Again, though, good eye, Roxia. I was checking my phone, trying to get updates on that, on the exact numbers from LA City Fire Department. Very tragic. 3 people passing away after this crash. And again, LA City Fire Department out here working as quickly as possible to free those victims. And when we arrived, very emotional scene, possibility of one of the victims still in that ambulance and family members trying to make their way over there. For right or wrong, the LAPD was keeping those people away from that ambulance. Right now, though, the scene much less active, but definitely still static. It's going to be, that intersection is going to be closed for some time, clearly, as this is going to become an investigation on exactly how this happened. And of course, sadly to say, the coroner is going to have to be called here as well. So again, all happening in the Westwood area today. Tragic crash, vehicle smashing into the 99 Ranch store, taking 3 lives and injuring many others.
Just for like 30 seconds.
Can somebody raise that?
Just because I noticed. Thank you.
Yeah, come on up. Hey guys.
You're gross. See, Charlene has got me.
Yes, sir.
Is anybody live?
All right, sir.
Okay. My name is Captain Eric Scott, ERIKSCOTT. What had happened is just after noon today, the Los Angeles City Fire Department responded here to the 1300 block of Westwood Boulevard, single vehicle traffic collision. When we arrived on scene, we were met by multiple patients. It was a rather active incident, as you can imagine. The first of which was northbound of here. Vehicle had struck a bicyclist, and then as you can see, it's entered inside of that ranch market and bakery, of which there were multiple patrons that were inside. There's seating and table areas, and as of now, we have a total of 9 patients. As you can imagine, this is a dynamic incident. Those numbers may change as the incident grows and de-escalates at the various stages that we're going to go through. Your firefighters arrived very quickly. They set up for immediate triage, treatment, and transportation of these patients. You can see the colored tarps behind us, red, yellow, and green, for immediate, delayed, and minor patients, so we could organize this as quick as possible and wrap our hands around it and give the best medical aid as needed. We're concerned about structural stability of that building, so we've called in our heavy rescue and urban search and rescue confined space specialists to assess the structure along with building and safety that is there. Fortunately, that building is not very compromised. It's predominantly a glass front door, and we're going to have it be yellow tagged, not red tagged at this point. More importantly, we had, again, a total of 9 patients here, and tragically, 3 of those individuals were beyond any medical help. Despite our best intentions and our best efforts, they were determined dead on scene. We had 2 other patients that were serious to critical that were quickly transported, an additional 2 patients that will categorize them as having minor injuries, and the last 2 patients that declined any medical transport. So again, at this point, there's a total of 9 patients. We've called in for waves of additional ambulances and resources, but at this point, this is becoming more of a static incident. And I do want to state that in working very closely with our law enforcement partners and LAPD, that this does not seem to be of any ill intent, that it does not seem to be an intentional act, but rather it's being investigated so far as an accidental traffic collision, and more information will come out as that's available.
How did it exactly happen? Someone told me that this man allegedly hit a lady in a bicycle and that he allegedly speed up, and this is what they did. Can you tell us about that?
So I would say it's accurate. The preliminary information did state that a bicyclist was struck first, just northbound of there. However, your aspect of it being intentional does not seem to be accurate. Again, this appears to be most likely accidental in nature. It was an elderly female driving of a single vehicle that was a silver-colored sedan that is still inside of that building, and the surrounding circumstances will remain under active investigation.
So, sir, are you telling us that basically it appears the driver, the elderly driver, was trying to swerve out of the way of hitting the bicyclist and ended up losing control of the vehicle and smacking into the market?
So the question is if the elderly driver was trying to swerve out of the way of the bicyclist before crashing. We don't know what had happened. All we know is that that elderly driver in that single vehicle did strike a bicyclist. The surrounding circumstances of what led up to that happening, we wouldn't want to speculate. But as there's additional patients along the way, I don't know if more were struck or if the rest of those were all from inside of that building. But what we do know, again, is a total of 9 patients, 3 that tragically were deceased, 2 that are serious, at least serious condition, 2 in moderate condition, and 2 that declined transport. Luckily, there was no fire. The structural stability of that building remains intact at this time.
Was one of the fatalities the bicyclist?
Anybody under the car?
The question is anybody under the car? Tragically, that's yes. We understood that people were underneath the vehicle. Firefighters again, are problem solvers. They came in, were able to remove that vehicle to make access to those patients. We called for waves of additional firefighter paramedics who render immediate medical aid. And again, those three were beyond any additional help that we could provide, and we're determined dead.
Was the driver one of the fatalities? What's his condition?
The driver is being evaluated right now, has been talking to the police officers and is being compliant and will be evaluated medically.
Elderly female driver, elderly male driver?
Elderly female driver, again, a single vehicle, a silver-colored sedan that's inside of that building.
What is her condition?
I don't have it at this time.
Okay, and was the bicyclist killed in this horrible accident?
I don't believe so. I believe the three deceased were inside or the near building. But again, rapidly putting this information together for you. We want you to know what your Los Angeles City Fire Department has done. They arrived very quickly. They tried to make a very organized incident command out of a chaotic situation and to treat the patients as quick as possible and rapidly transport them to emergency rooms for definitive care.
When you say elderly, how old are we talking?
Approximately 70.
70.
Yeah.
Did she actually struck the bicycle driver? What's the condition of the bicycle driver?
Yes, the vehicle struck the bicyclist, and the condition of that bicyclist, I don't know. We don't have every one of those 9 patients itemized as to where they were and who they're being described as. Okay, when we have more information, we'll go ahead and provide you an update. Thank you.
What time was the crash?
12:11, we were notified via 911, 11 minutes after noon.
Thank you.
All right, so we just got a briefing here from Captain Eric Scott with the LA City Fire Department. Again, just afternoon here today, we saw that silver sedan go through the 99 Ranch Market here on the 1300 block of Westwood Boulevard. Multiple and active scene, as he called it, 9 patients in all right now, Annabelle.
That's right. Okay, and he mentioned 3 people have died, and it's believed that those 3 people were inside the grocery store. 2 others are in serious condition. Those 2 were transported to a hospital. 2 others have minor injuries, and then 2 others declined medical services. We, of course, are staying on top of this story. This is a big story here. We are following it. NBC4's Keenan Willard will also join us for the NBC4 News at 3.
Yeah, in addition to that, we mentioned before making entry into that grocery store, the driver is also accused of hitting a bicyclist before, again, making entry into that store. The captain called this a static incident. Doesn't seem to be any intentional act here by the driver, no ill will. We are told that the driver, a woman in her 70s, he believes, is speaking with authorities. When asked about what her condition is, he said he didn't have that information as of right now. But again, calling in additional resources in terms of the stability of the building itself. It is being yellow tagged, not red tagged. Doesn't seem to be any structural damage here to, or at least compromised to the point where they need to close that building down completely.
Yeah, and we should mention that this grocery store, the 99 Ranch supermarket here, is on Westwood, and it is near UCLA, the UCLA campus. So this is a grocery store that a lot of these students who are of Asian descent do frequent. So a lot of pedestrians in that area. Going back, Michael, to the driver, the elderly woman, she is being evaluated and will be medically evaluated. But as you said, we still don't know her condition as of right now, but she is there. Seen and she is cooperating.
All right, so this, of course, is a developing story. Again, the latest information here from Captain Eric Scott with the LA City Fire Department. 9 patients as of right now. 3, unfortunately, passed away, as Annabelle mentioned here earlier, believed to be people who were inside of that store. He talked about whether or not there were people underneath the cab of the car, and in fact there were. Those were the 3 people that firefighters tried to extricate, render aid to. However, it was too late for those folks.
And again, this is on Westwood. The street is closed. They are asking for anybody who is driving around that area to use Veteran.
All right, so Keenan Willard is on scene. He is gathering information now from authorities as well as from witnesses in the area. He will have a live report coming up for us on the NBC4 News at 3 o'clock. We return now to regular programming. Thanks for watching, everybody.
and the cycle, the bicycle may still be inside that bakery. The fire department, they're definitely still here. It isn't like they can just pick up and leave. You did hear that they were talking about the structural integrity. I agree that the vehicle went through that glass. It didn't really hit anything that was structural holding that building together. As far as that woman, there's a good possibility she's the driver. Again, my heart goes out to her and clearly to all the victims involved. And not all victims are injured. We have to remember that. Fire department still here in force. We can just gander what was going on down there. All those white hats, those are going to be the LA City Fire Department. Those are battalion chiefs. Those are they're the bosses. They run their certain areas. They are all here right now, going over information, documentation, more for the idea to do better next time. Not that they didn't do good this time, but you can always try to figure things out, figure out what they did right, what they could have done better. Not that they did anything wrong at all. And of course, the red and yellow hats. Those are going to be EMS captains. There's a lot of ambulances that arrived out here when we first arrived. The number of ambulances I think that were still parked here must have been around 8, and we also know that there already had been some that had transported victims to local hospitals. So those EMS captains, they basically run, it's just like any other business. A couple of EMS captains have some other people underneath them. They're all here right now, just dotting the I's and crossing the T's and just making sure everything is done correctly. As far as it being a crime scene, I venture to say that's going to be here for a while, and we don't know if these people that passed, except for that one that we clearly see or saw earlier on, if they are still here. Perhaps, like you said, difficult to hear or understand, but may still be inside that bakery. So the coroner is going to have to arrive. I venture to say Westwood Boulevard going to be closed for quite some time out here. Again, very tragic situation, very emotional. Just seeing that elderly woman down there and then that family arriving here, hearing that their loved one may have passed or was at least injured to some point, trying to get over to that ambulance. It was very difficult to watch, but these are the things that our first responders deal with all the time. And again, whoever was doing the speaking for LA City Fire Department, very eloquent, and also very informative, and a lot of things very well said. LA City Fire Department trained in solving problems and being quick about it. Again, most of that equipment gone now, but it was amazing to see how quickly they got here, how quickly they assessed that situation and got the resources here to help and get people untrapped, get victims treated and off to hospitals in a timely manner. Hats off to them. And now the torch is being handed off to the LAPD to investigate and figure out exactly what happened. Lots of questions. But again, I'm with everybody else. I do not think this was any kind of intentional. I believe this was completely an accident, possibly a mechanical issue with the car. All that'll come out later.